Chapter 36. Rimuru returned to the spiritual world after a day has gone by. He was currently waiting for Noir. He materialized a chair and table. He also took out a folder of paper. It was the report of the progress of the others in their multiversal jobs. Looks like another new universe was found by Belgrand, Rimuru said as he looked through the report. Another batch of worlds has also been added by the others. Rimuru-sama, would you like some tea? Noir asked as Rimuru looked through the papers with a serious expression. Sure, that'd be great, Rimuru said without looking up from the papers. Flipping the paper, new angels recruited, Gamaliel sure is very useful. They number around 4,000, less than the initial 10,000 of that universe or so, I was told by Lei. Lei, after the recruitment of the angels, has told Rimuru everything he needed to know about them. About there being 5 cherubim and 10 thrones as well as 1,000,000 angels. He also learned about their fight against Ivaraj and the casualties they had. After he finishes reading the entire report, he stored it and sips his tea. So how did recruitment go? Kufufufu, it should be quite satisfactory for Rimuru-sama. Noir bowed while smiling as he waited for Rimuru to finish. Hey, Rimuru, a young girl's voice could be heard as she walked to Rimuru. Since when did Noir work for you? 3 people started marching to Rimuru. He looked at them and then at Noir. Noir has a smile that shows that he wanted to be praised for his good job. Rimuru understand what happened after just looking at Noir's expression and the tattered appearance of the trio. Actually, Rimuru noticed that even Noir has some injuries but were immediately healed or hidden. Rimuru sighed mentally. A headache was torturing him as he continued to look at the 4 of them, with the trio arguing with Noir. Hey, are you listening, Rimuru? John shouted as she points to Noir. That bastard kept saying weird things like serving under you. He was also forcing us to serve you as well. Blanc said, who was sitting as she joined Rimuru having tea. A child was brewing and serving her tea. So is this true? Blanc peeked as she sips her tea. Her eyes are cold as she looked at Rimuru. I did ask Noir to find demons to serve me, Rimuru explained. I didn't expect for him to drag you 3 though. But Rimuru-sama, even though they are weak, they are still the strongest that I could find in here. Noir said. The others glared at him. Weak? Huh, you wanna fight again? I can't let that comment slide, Noir. All right then, you bastard, let's go, right here, right now. The trio are arguing with Noir again. Kufufufu, complain all you want, all I said was the truth. Noir mocked the trio. You couldn't even beat me, how pathetic. The trio all surrounded Noir. John placed her hand over at Noir's neck. Is that so, Tilda? John said with a smile. Pretend all you want, but hiding your injuries and exhaustion is more pathetic. Noir-chan, looks like you have some dirt over here. Blanc said as she wipes at Noir's clothes. Ah, sorry, Blanc said as she undid the illusion that Noir placed on his clothes. The clothes of Noir that was like that of a noble was showing signs of tatters similar to the trio. Does your side hurt? Violet said as she poked his side. I believe that your injuries here are the worst, right? Violet smiled brightly. Kufufufu, don't worry, my worst injury is merely a weak scratch that you lot barely gave me. Noir countered. The arguing continued for another hour and Rimuru just watched in the side as he got his cup refilled by the demon child that came with Blanc. Thanks. Are you all ready to talk now? Rimuru said as he looked at the trio. Like I said before, I plan to recruit some demons to work for me. I asked Noir to bring me some, and he brought you. The trio all sat down in their own chair as they listened to Rimuru. Noir is standing on Rimuru's side as he nodded his head. This wasn't the plan, but do you guys have any interest in working for me? Rimuru asked the trio. The trio looked at each other and then at Rimuru. Well, I don't know about the others, but if you can prove to me that you're worthy, I don't really care. John shrugged as she replied. It just pisses me off on how Noir basically drag us here. Same here, if you can show me your strength, I'll work for you, Rimuru. Violet responded. Having primordials work for other primordials isn't that weird, as Guy is doing it with Misery and Rain. Blanc commented. So your replies are? Rimuru asked again as they never really answered. We wanna test your strength, first. How insolent of you lot, do you not see the magnificent appearance of Rimuru-sama? Kufufufu, that is all the proof you need to serve him. Noir scowls. On a side note, how did you make Noir-chan work for you, and turn him more Noir-ish? Blanc asked Rimuru. I'll explain later. Rimuru stood up, the others did as well. They all prepared to battle Rimuru. Hey, are you guys serious? I'm a demon king now, and you guys are still archdemon. Not even demon peer, so I don't see any hope of winning. Rimuru said with a genuine tone of curiosity. It's fine, it's fine. Just fight us with the intention of killing us. John reassured Rimuru. It's not like we won't revive anyway. Added Violet. Kufufufu Rimuru-sama, do not be concerned, these three will revive in less than 300 years. Please punish them for denying your offer. Diablo smiled as he informed Rimuru. Rimuru nodded, the others prepared as well. Without anyone signaling, the fight started. Violet and Blanc spread out and maintained distance from Rimuru. Meanwhile John rushed in towards Rimuru. John traded blows with Rimuru just dodging and blocking John's attacks. Tisk, fight back, John shouted angrily. Rimuru raised his right brow, before planting his fist towards John's stomach, sending her flying several meters away. Gawk, is that good enough? Hands of despair, Blanc uttered as miasma-like hands started coming out of the ground, latching onto Rimuru's body. Nuclear flame, shouted Violet from the distance. The attack coming directly to Rimuru. Counter gate, Rimuru calmly said as the attack was redirected back to Violet by a gate-like mirror. Violet barely dodged as the attack doubled in strength, not giving her any time to relax. Rimuru grabbed her arm and tossed her to John, who was rushing back into the fray. Then, he rushed to Blanc with the intent to finish her off. Oh my, am I the first one? Blanc said as she invoked several magic circles directed at Rimuru. No offense to the others, but you're much more of a threat. Rimuru continues to dodge until he's finally in front of Blanc. In Rimuru's opinion, Blanc is third after Noir and Guy of being the strongest of the primordials. As such, taking her out is a good plan, as she is known to be cunning as well. Good night. Rimuru materialized a sword and swung down at Blanc. Gah! The demon child from earlier received the sword swing. He grabbed onto Rimuru, trying to immobilize him. Rimuru looked around and found Blanc a bit away from him, to where the demon child previously should be. A sacrifice is it? Blanc is really cruel. John. Blanc shouted towards John, who was preparing her attack. I know, gravity collapse. John fired at Rimuru with the demon child in tow. Rimuru remained still inside, taking in the attack. Meanwhile, the demon child has been crushed by the pressure and has already died. Once the attack finishes, Rimuru patted down his clothes to remove any dirt. Looks good, John, you almost perfected it that time. Thanks, I've been practicing after all. John accepted the compliment as she cautiously observed Rimuru, who tanked it. That was amazing teamwork, I've seen what you guys can do. I'll finish it up now, I don't really have much time to enjoy the fight. Rimuru said, then he disappeared from the trio's field of vision. The trio started to scan their surroundings. Shit, where is he? John cursed, looking around cautiously. I don't sense him. Blanc is concentrating to search for Rimuru. Over there, John shouted as she pointed towards Rimuru several meters away from them. Nihilistic vanish. Violet casted towards Rimuru, capturing him inside. Did that do it? John asked, to no one in particular. Probably not, she answered herself, clicking her tongue as she senses Rimuru inside. For now, let's re. Before Violet could finish, she dropped to the ground. The other two looked in her direction. Violet's head was gone and only the body dropped to the ground. A shiver ran down both their spines as John and Blanc materialized their wings and flew upwards, trying to search while maintaining distance. John angrily fired several magic at the ground, trying to smoke Rimuru out. Where is he? Above, a voice said to both of them, which froze them both in place for a second. The two looked up, to the person that replied to John's outburst. Rimuru was standing there, he waved his hand at them. He rushed down towards them with his sword unsheathed. Blanc moved first as she tried to create distance. She continues to fire magic at Rimuru as he rushes towards her. Losing focus, she didn't realize that she was flying directly to a gate. The gate transported her in front of Rimuru. Grabbing her by the neck, Blanc resisted as she tries to remove his hand. Punching, pulling and even casting magic to get him to let go. Ah! AHGH. She felt pain from her neck. Rimuru's arm felt painful. Company.ro. Scion. Blanc's body started showing signs of decay. Close, Rimuru answered. It's toxins, can't exactly eat you, otherwise you won't revive. My, nullification, how? Blanc has abnormal condition nullification, she is asking how come it didn't work this time, unlike whenever she fought Violet. Well, these toxins are specially made for the spiritual body after all. Rimuru answered, smiling. Even with nullification, it is not absolute anyway. Rimuru remembered when he was killed by Velgrind, as well as when he fought her. Nullification and resistance are pointless in front of absolute power. Those are the last words Blanc heard before she loses sight. Blanc, who was resisting until just a second ago, had her arms dropped and lost all life in her body as it turned a shade of black. John, who didn't stay and watched, flew as far as she can. Rimuru appeared in front of her, and before she could say anything, she was slashed several times. Thus, as of today, 3 primordials died from the hands of Rimuru. Clap, clap, clap. Noir clapped as Rimuru returned to his side. Is something the matter? Well, I came here to recruit demons. And yet I killed them. Rimuru had a complicated expression. What happened to the ones I recruited before? They did not reach the minimum standard to be of use, I dispose of them. Noir said. But do not worry, Rimuru-sama, kufufufu, I expected this to happen. With a snap of his fingers, more than 6,000 greater demons appeared, with 100 archdemons separated. Noir spread his arms like he was presenting on stage as he walked towards the greater demons. That's a lot of them. Did you find them all just yesterday? Rimuru asked as he looked through the thousands of demons that have knelt down. Not one of them have their heads up, nor do they have any will to speak in front of Rimuru. They have been thoroughly trained by Noir. Kufufufu, as soon as I recalled Rimuru-sama, I started gathering a force that can be of use as sacrifices for your sake. Noir explained with a delightful expression. Noir kneeled with the 1,000 of demons behind him. Rimuru-sama, with the demons in tow, Rimuru returned home and allotted them jobs. This here is Noir, he'll be my butler from now on. Rimuru said with an annoyed expression. Noir for some reason does not want any job that does not include Rimuru's presence, and has suggested to be Rimuru's personal butler instead. Kufufufu, although it was almost not to be, it is fortunate that I did not give up in my persuasion. Noir said, feeling relieved. He practically begged Rimuru to grant him the job. Rimuru only accepted Noir's proposition because he was able to recruit the other primordials, albeit they'll come later. Rimuru noticed that during the announcement, Lei is gloomy for some reason. After the meeting, Rimuru called for Lei to meet him in his office. A knock was heard from the door as Rimuru sorts through his work. Come in, he said as he signed the paper before placing it in another pile. Rimuru-sama, you called for me, Lei said as she goes inside the room. Rimuru gestured her to sit down on the sofa and she nodded and sat down. Are you okay? Rimuru asked without looking in her direction. Lei looked at Rimuru. You seem gloomy for some reason. Rimuru continued. Did something happen? Lei opened her mouth and then she closed it. This continued for several tries until Rimuru-sama, Meiti has died, Lei said with a sad tone, as she looked down. Rimuru finally looked in her direction. This was Lei's first friend and she has died. She must be feeling very sorrowful at the moment. How did you know? Rimuru asked. I visit Meiti on occasions that I have time to spare. When I came to visit, the Olympians said that she has died. How did she die? Couldn't you get her soul from Tartarus? Rimuru suggested. They have shown Tartarus just how terrifying they are when they met him. Tartarus should be more than willing to give one soul in order to not anger Lei. She was killed by Zeus. She was eaten when she transformed into a fly and absorbed into Zeus' body. Rimuru looked surprised. Zeus did. Rimuru was confused. The last time he saw Zeus, he wasn't the type to do that. Why did he do that? I didn't have the chance to ask. Lei took a sidelong glance. What did you do? Rimuru could guess it. Attack Zeus. But I didn't kill him. Lei said. I just tore him apart and took what was left of Meiti. She said the last part in a low voice. You did what? Rimuru was shocked by what Lei did. So you have her soul with you? Lei took out a soul which was flickering and seems unstable. This is all that I could collect, the rest have been absorbed by him or their daughter. What do you plan to do with it? Rimuru asked her as they both looked at the soul. Since you both are fragments, why don't you absorb her just like what I do? I don't want to absorb her, Rimuru-sama, I'll try to fix her and give her another body. Lei said with determination in her eyes. Rimuru nodded, accepting Lei's decision. He stood up and sat down near Lei. He tapped his lap, signaling her to lay down. Lei laid her head down and kept quiet. If that's your decision, then so be it, Rimuru said as he caressed her hair. Small sniffles could be heard in the office room that day. Thank you, Rimuru-sama. Meanwhile, on a different day. Zeus, you okay? Rimuru visited Olympus. Rimuru, I guess so. I don't know what I did. But, here you go, Zeus said as he took out several barrels of wine. Rimuru looked confused by the gifts. What's this for? A peace offering. The other Titans and Olympians believe that you all have declared war on us. Zeus said. This is because of what happened to me. I see. Don't they know the reason of the incident? Rimuru asked as he stored the barrels. I didn't want to. Let's just explain that we reconcile so they don't get agitated. Zeus sighed. And if possible she doesn't visit again. He said in a whisper. She doesn't plan on visiting ever again. Rimuru explained and Zeus sighed with relief. Meiti was the only reason she even comes here. I see. Good to hear. That was dumb of you to do. I know, I realized that as she took out all my bones and organs from my body. Zeus said jokingly as he shivers from the memory. Why did you even do it? Rimuru asked. A prophecy stated the male child born from her will be stronger than me and overthrow me and be another tyrant. Zeus explained. I was afraid of that future, I wasn't thinking straight back then. Rimuru sighed. You could have just given us the child, Lei would have been more than willing to help Meiti with the child. I guess so. Rimuru-sama, what are you doing? Lei asked as she went inside to pass more documents. Nothing. Rimuru said as he placed the wine inside the barrels into expensive and beautiful bottles. By the way, Zeus' judgment on things became smarter when he ate Meiti. What do you think will happen to him now that you took her essence? Rimuru changed the subject. I don't really care, but Lei placed the documents down and think. His judgment on things will return to normal. He'll probably do some stupid things. That's what I thought too. To be continued.